We turn now to the former mayor of New York City, Rudy Giuliani, who is also with us from New York. Mr. Mayor, good morning.
Good morning, Major. How are you?
Good. Let's clear one thing up. You said a while ago that President Obama contributed to a rhetorical atmosphere about hating American police. And the Washington Post fact-checked you on that. I cover the president every single day. I've never detected anything that comes along the line of propaganda urging the country to hate police. Do you want to recast that or take that back?
No, not at all. I think you missed one very important point. He has had Al Sharpton to the White House 80, 85 times. Often when he's talking about police issues, he has Al Sharpton sitting next to him. If you would like to have a poster boy for hating the police, it's Al Sharpton. You make Al Sharpton a close advisor, you're going to turn the police in America against you. You're going to tell the police in America, we don't understand you. I saw this man help cause riots in New York. I've heard his anti-police invective firsthand. To have a man who hasn't paid $4 million in taxes, have a man who's spent his career helping to create riots, phony stories about police, to have that man sitting next to you speaks volumes. You know, actions speak louder than words. You put Al Sharpton next to you, you just told everyone, I'm against the police.
But what about the president's rhetoric itself? Do you still believe the president's rhetoric?
His rhetoric.
Go ahead.
Well, look who you associate with as part of your rhetoric. If I was talking to you about ending the mafia, as I did in the 1980s, or fighting the mafia, and I had Joe Colombo sitting next to me, you would say I was a big hypocrite, wouldn't you? It wouldn't matter what my rhetoric was. Oh, I'm fighting the mafia. There's Joe Colombo. Yeah, I'm for the police, and there's Al Sharpton. Every cop in America is going to say, give me a break. I get the point, Mr. President. His interference in the Gates affair, the fact that he pays great attention to these so-called racial incidents, some of which are not racial incidents, sends representatives to funerals of people who were killed in the commission of committing a crime. And I haven't heard him make very strong comments about the deaths of officers Ramos and Liu to that extent. So I think the Washington Post fact-checking was substantially inaccurate, and they missed one big point, Al Sharpton.
Interesting. Mr. Mayor, when you were mayor, you had your own beefs with the New York City police. There were times when they turned their backs on you. Is there something different, fundamentally different about this relationship between Mayor de Blasio and yours?
Never. I had disagreements with the police. We had 2 zeros, 3, 4, 5% increase. I had them sometimes chanting double zeros for heroes. Never had the police turn their backs on me. And I never had an issue about policing with them. The reality is the mayor of the city of New York should not be blamed for the murder of those police officers. That issue should not have been injected. It's wrong. I told the mayor that yesterday, and I don't support that. So I want to be clear on that. Mm-hmm. Number two, the mayor is not in any way to be treated with people turning their backs. It doesn't matter if you like the mayor or you don't like the mayor. You have to respect the mayor's position. I don't support that. But I do believe Mayor de Blasio should apologize to the New York City Police Department. I said it day one, and I think he'd get this over with if he did it. I've had to apologize for things that I said that were wrong. He created an impression with the police. And I don't know that he wanted to do it. He probably didn't. But he created an impression with the police that he was on the side of the protesters. Now, some of those protesters were entirely legitimate, but some of those protesters were horrible, yelling, kill the police, kill the police, kill the police. I don't ever remember protests with people yelling, kill the police since the 1960s and 70s. He should have apologized for the remarks that he made that gave the police the impression that he's on the other side. And by the way, he could lose Al Sharpton also.
Interesting. Mr. Mayor.
Sharpton, when Sharpton pays the $4 million he owes the federal government, right, maybe he should be allowed to sit next to a mayor or a governor. Or when Sharpton apologizes to police for all the times that he has maligned them, made false charges against them, helped cause the Crown Heights riot, ruin a man's career over Tawana Brawley, who happened to be in law enforcement. When he loses Al Sharpton, maybe then he can have a better relationship with the New York City Police Department. Those are the things in the mayor's control. Now, has the union gone overboard? Yes, with this idea that he's responsible for the murder. That's a terrible thing to suggest about a mayor. I'm sure Mayor de Blasio's heart is broken over these police officers. And I'm giving this advice in good faith. It is not political. It's like a former mayor. Mayor de Blasio, please say you're sorry to them for having created a false impression of them. You did create a false impression of them. Say you're sorry. Say you didn't realize. Say you didn't realize you have a non-white police department in terms of majority. This is a police department, as Commissioner Bratton knows, and has helped to create from the very beginning when he was my police commissioner. This is a police department that has everybody.
Mr.
There
Mayor?
is no majority in the New
Mr.
York
Mayor?
City Police Department.
Mr. Mayor, thank you very much for your time.